Check out what we build today. Log splitter. Woo! Here I have my 60-inch high lift jack. It goes by a million different names: handyman, farm jack, bumper jack. Anyway, this foot just raises up, and you used to put it on the bumper of your car. Unless you do four-wheel drive stuff, off-road stuff, very few people actually purchase these anymore just for general use, but they're extremely handy. They can pull fence posts out. That's not what this is about. I'm going to make the actual log splitter attachment. And so this foot raises up, so all I need is a blade that affixes anywhere along here that this will just push the log up into the blade, split it apart. And so I just happen to have a bunch of 1/4 inch steel. I'm going to do it at least out of 1/4 inch. I think that's necessary to make this stout enough. This just happens to be 6 inches by 12 inches long. I'm going to make two sides of my blade. I'm going to make a piece that attaches to each side and form them into a blade. You'll see that. But essentially, where you see this line, omit the steel that my hand is trying to cover. And you'll just have an L-shaped that this just pushes up. So pieces cut out, and they'll just go around the jack, and then we have our standoffs to help create a tube around the jack, and these will just weld up together, and essentially that's it. We do need to come up with a blade to actually split the wood. You want it skinny enough to go into the wood initially, 1/4 inch thick or something, sharpened, so you want it to go in the wood, but then you need some sort of kicker on each side to actually, once the wood starts splitting, is to actually pop the wood apart, and it just makes your life a lot easier. And so that's essentially what we're going to do with this, is where we have this thickness, I need to make some sort of out of the center, probably this 3/8 bar or something to the effect, that kind of comes up and is sharpened, and then put some more 1/4 inch pieces to help weld it all together, but it'll impact this first. So it fits on there nice and tight, very little slop. The welds are all done, front and back. I couldn't get all the way up in there, didn't think I would be able to, but that's no big deal. And then I cut the blade. So I actually used a plasma cutter, and I cut a chunk of this 3/8 inch thick, and I actually used a plasma cutter to 45 the edges a little bit, well, more than that, probably 60 degree the edges. That'll just save me a ton of work actually grinding, and that'll go there. And then cut 2 more shims, and they will 1/4 inch, and they'll go on each side, probably up with this angle up here, and this will protrude, so it'll have a good inch or so, 1.5 inches of just this that splits it, and then that'll be the kicker that pops the wood apart. So just got to smooth these out a little bit with the angle grinder, and then just weld this stack of stuff in. So I got that middle blade all welded in. I'm a little bit long on some of these pieces, but that was no big deal. I'll just take the chop saw and just cut them off flush. I was debating, because I really wasn't able to weld the backside very good with the MIG welder, if I should take a stick welder, kind of just fill all that in with some stick weld, and I think I'll do that, and then I can put the cap along the top and make a custom cap for the end just to purdy it up a little bit, and then I just have to put my 2 holes. It's still nice and warm, so maybe I'll throw a weld with the stick welder just right down in there, just to weld all these pieces together just from the backside, just to make them permanent. Cut out a ugly little plug for the end, and I'll just weld that solid. Oh, what's up? You want to play fetch? Oh, you brought me a ragged ball. Huh. Go get it. Used a carbide burr just in there just to fine-tune the hole so that both of these pegs were hitting at the same time. And then I just welded the same piece of the pipe over the top so I can move around and reposition on any one of these holes at any distance. So now it's just, I guess, a matter of testing it out. So the bottom of the high lift jacks actually have a bunch of holes, so I could easily bolt this down to a like a pallet or something else. But I guess I would set this up and get it close so you don't have to, you're not traveling a mile with the jack. It would be way easier if this was bolted down. And then it's just a matter of and then I don't have to release. If you ever used one of these, you know that you have to release it to let it go down, but theoretically I wouldn't have to do that. I wonder if this would... You could just keep repositioning this. You just keep working your way up. There you go. It worked. Still a lot of force, but I just have it bolted down to a pallet, and hold on. I've been doing a bunch of little things. Decided to give it a little bit more. It's not a 30 or 40 ton hydraulic one, but it'll still split stuff. Stuff like this, really no problem. Get that in there. Take it out. Drop it down, put your pin in, and not a ton of force, but I'm being cautious. Made a decent amount of firewood quicker and easier than I could have done swinging a maul. This log gave it a little bit of trouble, nipped off some ends, but definitely gave it a little bit of a fight. But I know my 30-ton log splitter would have a little bit of fight to contend with as well. Fun little project. Check it out on Facebook. I'll put more detailed photos if you want down in the video description. And if you're looking for one of these high lift jacks, they're amazing what they can do. Pull fence posts, winch your vehicle out of stuff, lift your vehicle up, split logs, pull cable. Very versatile thing. Really handy to have around. I'll put a link in the video description below. I do have some other log splitter videos that I have, modifications that I've made to log splitter, so I'll put a link to those after this. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye. Want a stick? Huh? Hey. Go get it. No? Can I have it back? What about the big one? Yeah.